Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are here and available to answer your questions. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. This recording will be available a week from today. All sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/BACS. We are currently in session B5, where my mouse is circling at the moment. And this is also the same order of presentations. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and get us started and introduce our first representative from Santa Clara University.
All right, thank you so much, Catherine. Really appreciate that. So I'm just gonna share my screen real quick. And boom, we're there. All righty. Everyone, so my name is Gerardo Miranda. I'm one of the assistant directors for undergraduate admission at SEU. Yeah, as you can see through this picture, how nice it is. We get about 300 days of sunshine per year. We are on the west coast of the United States. We're about, I would say, 30 minutes south of San Francisco. We're about also 30 minutes north of Santa Cruz. So if you're kind of looking for things to do around the area, right, we're kind of in the middle of like a huge metropolitan city as well called San Jose. That being said as well, so let's say if a student wants to look around and actually travel, to different places, we have an airport about 5 minutes away from campus. We have multiple, drive share programs on campus, but let's say if they want to go to the snow, right, that's also available in Tahoe. So you can kind of do everything in one day. You get surfing, you can go snowboarding, you can do whatever you want, right? We're right near so many things here. With Santa Clara University, about 55% of our students are from California, and about 45% of our students are from out of state, representing 49 states and 38 countries. The out of states, right, they tend to be, we get a lot of applications from Illinois, specifically the Chicago area. We get students from New York, we get students from Connecticut, we get students from Texas, but we get a huge group of students specifically here in the area itself because students know where this location or the university is located. Some neat facts about our school: about 80% of our students do take on some form of internship while they're here. About 86% of our students are employed full-time in graduate school or in a service program within 6 months of graduation. And a recent study in West Coast schools, about $65,000 median salary for our graduates. So, which is kind of higher than the rest of the country as well. I think we're number 7, right? And our top employers do include, because of our location, Google, Apple, Lockheed Martin, Cisco, Facebook, eBay is here. All of these companies are in our backyard, so it gives that access to our students specifically. All right, so we are a Jesuit school. We believe in educating the mind, the body, and the spirit. I always like talking about the 3 C's of competence, consciousness, and compassion. Also, our students are calm, cool, and collective, the other 3 C's, ha, ha, ha. About 50% of our students are Catholic or identify as Catholic, and 50% of our students do not identify as Catholic, and that is completely fine. All right. You can explore the world through study abroad programs here at our school, immersion programs, and community-based learning. Students, if you decide to come to this school, we do have a requirement that students need to take 3 religious courses, but they can be in any of the isms that they like. It could be in Christianity, it could be in Catholicism, it could be in Buddhism. You can take courses in theology, right? It's up to you, right? We just want you to explore different things. For the neat and greedy, right? So the educational experience. So we do have 5,500 undergraduate students. And on top of that, we have about 3,000 graduate students on campus. Every university is going to tell you the same student to faculty ratio, so I'm just going to skip that. So we have about 23 students per our class average size. About 82% of our classes are less than 40 students. And as you've moved up in years, those classes tend to be a lot smaller, right? It's about 8 students, 5 students, depending on the discipline that you chose. And as well as one of the highest retention rates in the country at 95%. Right? You're like, oh my gosh, these are amazing numbers. Exactly. And let me tell you the best one, 88% of our students graduate within 4 years. Why 4 years? Because of the programs. We're on a quarter system, and all of this is meant for you to build that rapport, that relationship with your professors, mentors, everybody that's here to assist you in any way, even myself. All right. So when applying to the university, we're actually on the Common App. You're applying to one of the 3 schools on campus. You're just not applying to Santa Clara University specifically. You're applying to the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Engineering, and the Levy School of Business. I would say the 2 most competitive schools tend to be the School of Engineering and Business. Specifically, I'm looking for students that have either taken calculus or physics for the School of Engineering. If you haven't taken it yet, it should be on your transcript somewhere. And then for the Levy School of Business, I am looking at the level of math that you're taking. So either pre-calculus, statistics, right, calculus, it's one of those should be on there. Our most popular majors do tend to be in computer science and engineering, but the thing is we also have that in the College of Arts and Sciences. Big difference, the School of Engineering focuses a little bit more on the engineering portion, and then the College of Arts and Sciences focuses a little bit more on the mathematics. With the College of Arts and Science specifically, this tends to be the majority of our majors, right? So biology, it could be physics, it could be music, it could be theater arts, all of these majors, right? With our GPA, so we do look at things in an unweighted scale, so about 3.56 all the way to about a 3.87. But this year, something that changed up is we went test optional, right? So we do look at grades because we're an academic institution. And some students decided to turn in their SATs and ACTs. You can do that if you want, you don't have to. To be quite honest with you, about 40% of our students submitted them. And those are students that have above over 1,400, I think. But what really sets you apart is that essay, that personal statement, those extracurricular activities, everything, all the above, right? So our application deadlines are November 1st for early action, early decision 1. And then we have the regular decision and early decision, which is January 7th, all right? I think that wraps up about my time, but if anyone has any questions, always feel free to find us at su.edu/find-your-counselor or connect with us on social media. All righty, thank you so much for your time. Feel free to throw things in the chat.
Awesome, thank you. The next representative is from the University of Rochester.
Hi everyone, it's nice to chat with you this evening. My name is Libby Brown. I'm from the University of Rochester in the great state of New York, but I am actually located in the great state of California. I'm a regional down south in Long Beach, California, LBC. But we are certainly, I work with all the students from the Bay Area alongside a couple of my colleagues, and I'm really excited for you to hear a little bit more about Rochester and share a little bit of my hometown with you. So first things first, I wanted to do a quick land acknowledgement. We're located on the ancestral homelands of the Haudenosaunee community, specifically Seneca Nation. And as you can see, not terribly close to New York City. We're actually closer to Toronto than we are to the city of New York, but it is an easy pop over, especially if you're flying out from SFO, San Jose, or Oakland. It's usually a layover in Chicago and then a quick hop over to the Rochester City Airport. We are the 3rd largest city in the state, and so especially for students that are looking for more of an urban community, we do have that, but just as a gentle reminder, our urban is a lot smaller. So we are located in the city of Rochester in that sort of urban suburban area. But as you can see, lots of green space, lots of parklands around the city. We are located in a bend of a river, therefore we are called the River Campus, but we're really well known for a couple of different programs specifically. You might have heard of us from the Eastman School of Music. Our Eastman community is extraordinarily well known as a conservatory, top conservatory in the world. One of the many, but obviously I'm very proud of it specifically because of our size as a city. It's a great resource for students that are looking to maintain that music experience. We are also well known for our Hagen School of Engineering, Simon School of Business, Warner School of Education, and as well as obviously the medical center. It's on the picture because we want to highlight it. If you have taken the COVID vaccine that is specifically Pfizer, congratulations, you have a part of Rochester as a part of you. We are a part of the COVID vaccine trials. We are really well known for public health and epidemiology. Certainly with our community, again, the pre-med pathways are really easily accessible, but again, we have all sorts of different pathways, political science, economics, Nobel Prize winners in all of those areas. But one of the things that I really like to talk about is who we are. We really identify very deeply with our motto, which means ever better. That growth mindset is an important piece of who we are, but more importantly, the internalizing and externalizing elements of it, specifically as it relates to to, again, the curriculum, one of the things that I really appreciate, Santa Clara mentioned it, yeah, the student to faculty ratio is very common, but some things that set us apart, you actually in a session with a lot of really cool, unique communities here. And one thing that I love about Rochester is that we're a small research tier 1 institution. We're 5,500 undergrads, about the same size as Santa Clara, but we are tier 1, meaning we have just boatloads of money to throw at you for research. It means that a ton of our research is undergrad oriented, lots of different graduate programs, PhD programs, but we do have that really strong focus on the hands-on learning experience. We also have a very diverse community. We have about 30% of our student body is international, so studying abroad, research abroad, exploration abroad is a really important piece to us. But as you might notice, a lot of students do double majors because of our curriculum. We have an open curriculum. We do not have general education requirements. You can follow a pathway that's a double major, a triple major, even a quadruple major, and still graduate in 4 years. I've seen it happen. It is a very common pathway for students to explore a whole bunch of different things, combine different areas, and really explore the things that are meaningful to them. We want to advise and work with you, but we don't want to tell you how that's supposed to look. We want to be a part of your process and really encourage you to find those pathways for us and with us and all sorts of different experiences that way. Like I said, the research experience is an important part of who we are. Engineers tend to prioritize research over co-ops, but you can certainly do both. We do see a lot of students really exploring that all throughout the 4 years, starting right away in their areas of study, starting right away in research. But again, switching and moving around and having a very fluid experience as part of that. We are also a very residential campus, I will say. A vast majority of our students live on campus with us all 4 years. And it's because, again, there's a lack of vibrancy of the city of Rochester. I do appreciate that it is a very foodie city. It is a very, community-oriented experience. But again, I think it's a good reflection of the vibrancy that exists within the student body. We have a lot of activists, a lot of service-oriented students, a lot of focus on the cultural experience, the creative experience, dance, music, the creative and performing arts. All of those pieces, I think, make for a very enriched experience here at Rochester. And again, just to highlight a little bit about the application, we have been test optional. We remain test optional. We're actually test flexible as well. So if you want to send any kind of testing, go ahead. But we are a community that meets 100% of demonstrated need. We also offer on top of that merit scholarships. So especially for students that are thinking that they have, again, a piece of the puzzle that wants to sort of highlight and focus things in context, we also encourage you to include as much as possible all of the supplemental materials, research, creative work, that whatever you've been really excited to focus in on high school, we obviously want to hear about it and see it as part of the process too. We do encourage the demonstrated interview, especially for students that are moving into that process. I would be one of those folks. I hope I'm not too intimidating, but I look forward to sharing more time with you soon, and please feel free to reach out. We're wishing you the best. Obviously, this has been an extraordinary year, and we hope that you are staying safe, staying healthy, staying well into the end of this junior year and into the next. Thanks again. And up next, we have Willamette.
Great, thank you so much. Very helpful information. Before we, just a friendly reminder that if you have any questions at all, to feel free to submit those through the Q&A. Our representatives are here and available to answer any questions that you have. And if you have a specific question, to also note the school name. The next representative is from Willamette University.
Thank you. Hi there, my name is Leah Boynton and I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at Willamette University. I want to take the next few minutes to just tell you a little bit about Willamette and our story, which hopefully will encourage you to join us in another virtual visit to learn more about our campus. So Willamette is located in Salem, Oregon, which is the state capital of the state of Oregon. We are located in the beautiful heart of the Willamette Valley, so right between Portland and Eugene. We are a liberal arts college supported by 3 professional schools in business, law, and theology. And we're located in a part of the country that is known for its diverse ecosystems, outdoor opportunities, and many places to explore. Willamette is the most historic institution in the Western United States. We were here long before Oregon, Washington, and California were even states. Willamette began to educate innovators from the very beginning. Leaders just like Emily York, who was our very first graduate, who was a woman. As things like business, economics, government, education, medicine, social systems were being established in the Western United States, it was Willamette graduates that really had an edge in innovation. They were equipped to make an impact in society right after their graduation. I mention our history because it's an important part of the Willamette story and how students experience our campus today. Willamette's legacy of leadership and impact in the community is exactly what current Willamette students find here today. We are known for being a place that turns knowledge straight into action. We were given this motto right at the beginning of our founding that informs the Willamette experience. This motto is, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born." It's this idea that we are in community with one another, and how we show up in the world is an impact that we have on others. And we hope that students are able to learn how to contribute to society by being a part of our community here. We talk about our motto a lot, and we give students many different ways to live this motto in their day-to-day life, whether that's in the classroom or in other experiences out of the classroom. Willamette does an exceptional job of providing students with so many different occasions to practice this idea, making positive change through leadership, service, and of course, innovation. In the classroom, Willamette students meet in small groups with highly engaged faculty who lead primarily discussion-based classes. And these small groups are an interactive experience designed to help students develop critical thinking skills, creative problem solving skills, and communication skills, so that students can consider varied perspectives going into whatever their field of interest is. Our faculty are accomplished academics. They research, write, publish extensively, but more than anything, they are teachers. They love to mentor our students and get to know students as more than just a student, but also as a person outside of the classroom. It's really no wonder that Willamette has more Oregon Professors of the Year than any other institution in the state of Oregon. We have 11 here on our campus, and we're really proud of these outstanding teachers. We feel strongly that the incredible classroom environment at Willamette is critically supported by experiential and co-curricular activities as well. Things like study abroad, hands-on research, and internships are a huge part of the Willamette experience. Our unique location allows for so many opportunities for students, so let me tell you a little bit more about our place in the world. We are a unique campus that's set right in the downtown area of Salem. As you can see, we're just 10 minutes down the road from downtown Salem and situated right across the street from the state capitol. In fact, we're closer than any other institution in the nation to a state capitol building, 76 feet to be exact. You can imagine that there are many internship and research opportunities due to this special location. Everything from politics to economics to psychology and data science are supported by some of the opportunities at the state capitol, or also across the street at the Salem Health Hospital, which is another opportunity for students interested in pre-health or pre-medicine. Willamette also owns a 305-acre area of land called Xena. This is a living learning laboratory for students interested in environmental science or biology to do research and dig in the dirt in this unique region. Finally, Willamette is co-located with Tokyo International University of America. We have 100 students from Tokyo come over every single year to participate in the American Studies program, and they're a major part of our campus, both living on campus and being part of student activities and learning in the classroom. As you can see, Willamette's situated in such a way where there's opportunities all around us. I want to take just a minute to talk a little bit about our application process. We use the Common Application. We review applications holistically, meaning every piece of your application matters. We've been fully test optional for 4 years now and will continue to be, and we do not factor test scores into the merit scholarship awarding process either. We never charge a fee to apply because we don't want that to be a barrier for any students seeking access to Willamette. And every applicant is considered for generous financial aid awards, including the merit scholarships, which don't require another application. Willamette encourages applicants from bright, diverse, prepared backgrounds who want to make a difference in the world. We like to be a place that encourages innovation and students to be creative and think about what they'd like to do with their time. If you want to be a part of this community that has a deep history of tradition, but also is excited about students making a difference, please feel free to check out our website and learn more about us. We'd love to see you in another virtual visit opportunity. This is my contact information. You're welcome to reach out to me with any questions you might have. And please feel free to learn more about us. I will also put a link in the chat box if you'd like to share your information with us to stay connected.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. The next representative is from Harvey Mudd College.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jason Santiago, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Harvey Mudd College. We are one of the Claremont colleges, and we are located in Claremont, California, which is about 35 miles east of Los Angeles. A little bit about Harvey Mudd. We are a small liberal arts college focused on science, engineering, and math, which means we emphasize a well-rounded education, but we only offer 10 majors, all in STEM. We're driven by this mission, which essentially says, we want to make sure that as we educate future leaders in STEM, they are well-versed across those disciplines, but also in the humanities, social sciences, and the arts, so that they can understand the impact of their work on society. So how do we do this exactly? You may be wondering, how does liberal arts college and STEM focus really come together? Well, like other liberal arts colleges, students come in undeclared, so not by your choice, and you have 2 years to choose a major. During that time, however, students take a technical common core, which requires that all students become well-versed across the STEM disciplines, meaning you'll take at least one class in every single department we offer on campus. That's represented in biology, chemistry, computer science, engineering, math, and physics. So it is a lot of STEM, just keep that in mind. This breadth of study continues even into your major. So all of the majors are broadly approached. So you'll notice, and this is best illustrated by our engineering major, you'll notice that we have one engineering major. It isn't an accredited engineering major, but we only have one. Even though you'll find online that we're highly ranked in mechanical, electrical, computer, and even civil engineering, we don't actually offer those majors. We just prepare our engineers broadly, just as we would prepare our chemistry majors broadly, computer science majors broadly, physics majors broadly, etc. I don't mean to suggest that students can't specialize. You absolutely can. We understand that that's an important part of your preparation for STEM so that you can enter the workforce or go to grad school. So you'll major or you'll specialize through the electives that you choose, but also research. 100% of students do research at Harvey Mudd College. And because we're strictly undergraduate, research can start as early as a student's first year. Every student is required to complete a capstone program in order to graduate, so either a senior thesis or clinic. Clinic is a year-long project that are sponsored by companies like Google, Nike, Virgin Orbit, and a few other theirs that you'll see on that slide. We are pretty well known for it. It's something that was founded early on in the college's history. And about 10 to 15 parents come out of the clinic project each year now. Last but not least, the humanities, social sciences, and the arts. So about 25% of the courses that you take in order to graduate will be in non-STEM disciplines. They are going to be in these classes. We call it HSA on campus. You are required, as you can see, a breadth of study in HSA as well, but you'll also be required to complete a concentration, which, while like a minor, isn't technically one. We don't award traditional minors at Harvey Mudd, so you can concentrate in the disciplines that you'll see there, but you can't minor in them. We believe the humanities, social sciences, and arts is a key part of the Harvey Mudd education. It really serves the college's mission in making sure that our students are not only well-versed in STEM, but also in other disciplines, so they can understand the impact of their work on society and communicate those ideas well across different audiences. Serving us in this mission are also the Claremont colleges. And in terms of what makes Harvey Mudd different than many other schools, it is the fact that we are right next door to Pomona, Scripps, Claremont, McKenna, and Pitzer, 4 of the top liberal arts colleges across the country. We share so much, everything that makes sense. We were founded as a consortium, and as you can see there, we are literally right across the street from Scripps. We share a boundary with Pitzer, and we're just a short walk away from Pomona and Claremont and McKenna. We share an academic calendar, the same registration system, so cross-registration happens seamlessly for the nearly 2,500 courses we offer each year. This gives our students access to many different programs that we just couldn't offer on our own, including 2 whole music programs, about a dozen world languages, and so much more. We're often asked how often students take classes at the other colleges. All of the time. 100% of our students will take classes at the other colleges, mostly because there are things that we just couldn't do as a small college that our neighbors can do so much better and with better range than we could ever hope to offer. And so our students are constantly taking these classes and chasing these classes at the other colleges, which is a great opportunity to be in a classroom where you're not going to be surrounded by other students who are strictly majoring in STEM. Plus, being part of the Claremont colleges means that you're not just around 900 students, the 900 Harvey Mudd students, you are part of an undergraduate population of 6,000. And The student life experience, as well as the support resources that we offer for students, are shared, but we do offer our own at Harvey Mudd, but there are many, many more that are shared across the colleges. I think one of the most fun things that we share is the fact that there are one of the most fun things that we share is the fact that we have 2 NCAA Division III athletic programs in the Claremont colleges. So Claremont, McKenna, Harvey Mudd, and Scripps form one team, and Pomona and Pitzer are rivals. It's called the 6th Street Rivalry because they literally walk across the street for the big homecoming game. So in terms of considering Harvey Mudd, we're a great option for students looking for a small college, but want the option and the possibility for something bigger. We're a great option for students wanting to focus on STEM, but don't want to give up a well-rounded education. In terms of admission, we will continue to be test optional this next year. And while we're not yet sure what summer visits are going to look like, we are going to keep folks updated through our website, but also our inquiry list. And so please check out this website. That will get you that information quickly. And then I'll also, like the other colleges that are presenting, I'll be in the chat to answer any other questions that you have until we finish at about 6 or 8:45. With that, thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Just another friendly reminder that if you have any questions at all about the college application process or about a specific school, to also submit your questions now. Again, our representatives are here to help and assist in any way possible. And we strongly encourage you to also include the school name. The next representative is from Bentley University.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My internet has been a little unstable tonight, so I apologize if I am not super clear, but thank you for joining us. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm one of the assistant directors in the Office of Admission at Bentley. While I am not based in California, I do have Northern California as my territory, as part of my territory. So feel free to reach out if you are interested in learning more. And I am certainly your correct person to jump in talking about Bentley University a little bit, specifically because I know that it is further away from my other colleagues and colleges that we have here tonight. Bentley University is located in Waltham, Massachusetts, which is a rather small to medium-sized suburb, about 15 to 20 minutes outside of Boston. So you can see here our campus, and this building with the clock tower on top is our library, which is our most photographed building on campus, but you can also see Boston in the skyline. So our students really do have a great opportunity in the best of both worlds in a lot of respects for different internships and job opportunities, but also just for recreational fun, going into Boston to see a Red Sox game. There's so much for students to explore in Boston, and besides the internships and job opportunities, there is just a lot that our students are able to explore. Some quick facts for you, which I'll elaborate on as I go through the list. We do have about 4,000 undergraduate students on campus, so we are a small to medium-sized institution. Something pretty specific to note about Bentley is that we are a business school. So all of our programs and really the morals behind a lot of our education is in the businesses. So yes, while we do have an English program and a history program, every student at Bentley, regardless of your major, will be required to take a business core curriculum. So we typically are pretty upfront and pretty blunt with the students and families that if you don't think that business is for you, that Bentley might not be the right place. And we say that now in this process because we don't want students to ever have to feel like they came to the wrong place when they realized that they didn't want business. And so it is certainly a large decision, but for those students who know business is for them, definitely continue to listen up about Bentley. We certainly have a pretty small class size and a student to faculty ratio. So really wanting to make sure that that in-person connection is really important for our students. And I think that our professors struggled with kind of thinking about going on Zoom this year during COVID. They did a great job adapting, but the thought of not being in person with their students was really scary to them because that is such a big part of the community and the education. We have a large number of clubs and organizations on campus as well. And we are also have a pretty robust mainly Division II sports program. We do offer men's ice hockey at the Division I level. And in 2018, we also added an arena to our campus, which is beautiful. About 20% of our students are involved in Greek life in some aspect, whether that be living off of campus at a Greek fraternity or sorority, or just being involved in continuing to live on campus. It is a very residential area, as I'm sure you noticed from the photo. There isn't much around but a town. So Waltham is certainly an area with a downtown community, but it is certainly more of a suburb rather than a city or an urban setting. We do offer 6 high-tech learning labs on campus, so really focusing on the work that you're doing with your professors inside the classroom, taking what you're doing and bringing it into a high-tech learning lab space that's on campus. I think my favorite part about these 6 learning labs is that we do have a trading room on campus. Even if you're not interested in finance as a major or a program, I think that having this space on campus is just, it's honestly magical. We do offer, I mean, when you go on tour of campus, it does show there, and you can definitely see it on our online tour as well. But it is the oldest and largest university trading room in the country. So we're really proud as a small to medium-sized institution to have that on our campus. We do offer a number of majors and minors, as you can see on the screen. And like I mentioned, most of those are business related or in the business field specifically. And like I mentioned, regardless of your major, you will be required to take that business core curriculum along with the liberal arts core curriculum. So it really does allow you to tie in anything that you're interested in the liberal arts sector with your business major. For example, a lot of our students do take a liberal studies major. So although we don't allow our students to double major traditionally in the businesses, we do offer a liberal studies major for our business students. For example, if you're interested in working in the nonprofit sector of business somewhere in your future, a lot of students who are interested in that will have a global perspectives liberal studies major alongside their business degree as well. So a really great way to combine the liberal arts and the businesses. I quickly want to touch upon this statistic at the bottom of this page. So we do have our class of 2020 placement rate 6 months after graduation. And I point to this number because it has been pretty consistent over the last few years, but I think that this year our students and faculty have done an exceptional job of allowing the success of our students to really shine in 2020. I mean, we've clearly gone through so much in this last year, all of us, and I just think that to share that number has, 1, stayed consistent, but 2, increased a bit since last year with all that happened this year. It just really shows the type of students and the resiliency of our students and community. Quickly touching on the application requirements, they are pretty similar to a lot of other institutions, but we do require that common application and your high school transcript. Specifically because we are a business institution, we are looking for you to have taken pre-calcs. That is certainly something specific about our application process. And then just to mention that we have been test optional this past year and will continue that this year due to COVID restrictions. And then I will also put my email address in the chat. I definitely am running out of time, so I want to wrap up, but I will leave you this information in case you all have any questions. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you. Excuse me. The last representative, but certainly not least, is from Colorado College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pedro Ramirez. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Colorado College. Happy to be speaking with you today a little bit about CC. And please ask some questions in the chat over our last few minutes here. Colorado College is located in beautiful Colorado, also known as the Switzerland of the United States. We are about an hour south of Colorado, Denver, Colorado. So it's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you're going. But what's unique about CC is that as a National Liberal Arts College, we are the only National Liberal Arts College in the Rocky Mountain time zone. So place is really important to us. It informs the way we learn, the way we connect with one another, and the way we build community. At Colorado College, we do sit on the unceded territory of the Ute and Arapaho nations. So we do recognize that we are on native land at Colorado College. And again, this informs us in the way in which we interact with our community and we interact in the Rocky Mountain time zone. At Colorado College, we're not just one school in Colorado Springs. We actually have 2 satellite campuses across the state of Colorado, one in Divide, Colorado, which is about 45 minutes away from campus, called the CC Cabin, which acts as a kind of a surrogate classroom and open laboratory space in the Rocky Mountains. We also have a Baca campus in the beautiful San Luis Valley, which is a fully running fledged campus with dining commons, library, residence halls, and the whole 9 yards. And of course, laboratories there for research in environmental science and biology and in writing. Some of the students that make up Colorado College, we are pretty geographically diverse. We are well represented across all 50 states across the country, including the East Coast, West Coast, South, Midwest, and West Coast. Last year, 31% of our students identified as students of color, while about 15% of them were first generation to go to college. Overall, 10% of our students come from across the world internationally. And so we have about 74 countries represented there. In terms of the basics, we're a school of 2,800 total students. So essentially that means small class sizes. We not only have a small class average of 16 students per class, but all of our classes are capped at 25 students. So any class larger than 25 has to be co-taught by a professor. So you will be in no class larger than 25. And our retention rate from freshman to sophomore year is 96%. Some of our more popular majors at Colorado, obviously place informs this: environmental studies and sciences, international political economy, Southwest studies, journalism and creative writing, linguistics, as well as pre-professional programs like pre-med, pre-law, which all have acceptance rates over 90% to those specialized fields. In terms of what makes us the most unique, I think, is that we are one of only 2 schools in the entire country that learn 1 class at a time. At Colorado College, we are on something called the block plan. That means each class you take is called a block, and each block only lasts 3.5 weeks. So we really take away what we consider the balancing act you're doing right now in high school. You're taking 6, 7 classes, many APs and honors. You're changing gears every hour, right? At Colorado College, we don't believe in bells. We believe that you should be immersed in your learning and that you should learn intentionally. And if that means that you need to learn out in the world, then you do that. So at Colorado College, 80% of our students study abroad, 100% of our students participate in field study. So at CC, the world is your classroom. And so we really believe in that. But what's unique about CC as well is that between each class, you get something called a block break, which means between each block, between each class, you get 4.5 days off to actually be a citizen of Colorado, to explore the land, to understand its culture of the Southwest. We like to call ourselves the gateway to the Southwest. So that means, getting out and about, but also if you wanted to get involved in community service, Utah and Arches and Canyonlands National Park is 4 hours away. Rocky Mountain National Park is about 2.5 hours away. If you wanted to do an alumni internship for that block break, you can do that as well. So we have a lot of amazing opportunities there as well. And just really quickly, just to round it out in terms of admission, I'm gonna talk a little bit about just kind of what our applicant pool looks like, because I think at CC we try to be very transparent about that in terms of where students apply from, but also what rounds are most popular. At Colorado College, early decision as well as early action are our most popular application rounds. Almost a little more than half of our students are applying early, whereas around 25% of them are applying in the regular action round. We are test optional at Colorado College, meaning that we've been test optional for this is our 3rd year going test optional. We believe testing is a choice of the student. We do not hold it against you if you're not submitting a test score. It would be like holding something against you if you weren't involved in student government in your extracurricular activities. If it's not there, it's not really relevant, right? So that's how we look at testing. That's how many schools do. I know that's been asked in the chat a few times. But I would like to say that at Colorado College, we seek students that are adventurous, that have that, kind of independent spirit, but really love the inquiry of learning. You have to really love what you learn to be really successful at Colorado College. So we really hope you'll learn more about us and go on our website, attend a virtual session, and really get to know if CC is the right fit for you. And with that, I will yield my time.
Great, so much information. Thank you so much to our presenters. We do have some time left, and so we're going to go ahead and pivot now into our Q&A portion of the session. And so I invite all our representatives to turn on their cameras at this time and to be ready to unmute. for our first question here, which is what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? Again, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go ahead and get started in the same order in which you all presented it.
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice, ensure that you're looking for the right school, not just the name that you're applying to. Make sure that it has, everything that you want, especially the area, right? If you like living in a city, you can apply to multiple schools in a city, but if you want to stay away from the city, make sure that it's well-rounded. You're just not applying to the name itself, right? That's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, and I would agree. I think it's a very introspective process right now, all of you are going through. And I would argue that staying organized, keeping a set sort of organization system is probably going to be very helpful to you as well. I know that it can get very confusing with all the deadlines and different pieces of the puzzle, putting it all together. Keep yourself organized.
Some advice I would give is that no matter where you end up, your college experience is going to be what you make it to be. And so with that, this decision is not make or break for the rest of your life. Instead, it's one choice in the correct direction. And so from there, you just have to know what you're looking for and immerse yourself fully wherever you choose to go. And no matter what, you are going to find your right path.
I'll just add, take advantage of us as resources. Like the folks in the Office of Admission are here to help you. We're not trying to sort of like not give you a straight answer. We're not trying to misguide you. We are going to answer you based on our experiences in working in this profession. And so that we've gotten into this because we want to help people. And so take advantage of that. Ask us a question. I know it's easy to go online and Google and try to find an answer. It's also really easy to just shoot me an email and say, hey, how's this at Harvey Mudd, or how's this at wherever else you work. So please do reach out to us. We know that this can be confusing and we want to help.
Jason stole my thunder a little bit with the questions, but I think something else that I was going to add was that ask questions unapologetically. Don't apologize for reaching out, because that's literally our job. And we are, like Jason mentioned, so happy to help. And so we definitely want to be able to chat through any nerves that you have, any questions that you might be curious about, anything that you might think is boring for us. That's really what we're here for. So I was talking to a family earlier today, was like, I bet you get this question 100 times a day. And I'm like, yes, but that's my job. Like, that's literally what I'm here for. So unapologetically ask your questions to us for sure.
Yeah, Jason said it well, like we're in the Office of Admission, not denial. So remember that. I think my biggest advice, just to add, throw in the pile, would be just to talk to students that go to the schools that you're applying to. I think, for us, we're really great at talking about our schools and really playing up our strengths at our colleges, but not every school's perfect, right? And so I think you have to talk to the students to figure out if it's a really good fit, because they're the ones that are, living in the dorms and eating at the dining commons, going to the library, doing clubs and activities. Very rarely are any of the admission counselors current students. Maybe we were former students, but not current. So you really need to talk to students.
Awesome, all great advice. We're gonna try to see if we can squeeze in one more here. So we'll see how rapid fire we can go. But the last question here is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
Yeah, I'll go through it. So at Santa Clara University, I feel like, I guess it's also my favorite tradition. It's the basketball game with Gonzaga and Santa Clara University, both rivals. We end up losing every single year. That's completely fine, but it's a fun experience where all faculty, staff, students, alum, they all go to. It's something that the entire Bronco family gets together. Yeah.
I think my favorite is the Global Day of Service. It happens to coincide with the last day of our orientation, our first year programs, when all of our first years are transitioning, all of our upper class folk are coming back on campus. But we host a day of service for all of our students. And then we also do a corresponding day of service globally with all of our alumni. And it's a really cool sort of way to enter into the community, stay connected, and continue the tradition throughout your life.
On campus, we have these big 5 trees that are called the star trees because the way they're planted, you look straight up and it's the shape of the star. So at the end of the fall semester, they get strung up with string lights. It's quite a task since they're very, very tall, and there's a holiday celebration just to celebrate the end of the semester, and free hot chocolate, the choir sings. And it's not just our Willamette students that come, but also faculty and members of the Salem community all kind of gather. We had a virtual experience this year where we actually had a student on campus click the button with everyone else on Zoom. So it was a fun thing to be able to celebrate that way, just as we normally would.
We have what are called Wednesday nighters, and it's what it sounds like. On Wednesday night, we try to gather our students for like a study break. And I mentioned donuts earlier in a different session. We buy a bunch of donuts and we're like, hey, come get donuts and listen to your friends perform or watch them dance or watch them do this painting. So it's every Wednesday, donuts.
Something that students talk about constantly at Bentley is bingo night. So they happen quite a few times throughout the semester, and the prizes, I've never attended, but I've heard they're crazy. Oftentimes they are very competitive nights for students, but really a lot of fun, and everyone usually gathers in the gym together. And so the students have been missing those quite a bit this year.
Yeah, I think the thing that I miss the most is something called Llama-palooza that happens at CC every spring break. It's pretty fun music festival and arts festival that our students put on, and we bring in guest bands from all around the country, as well as student bands play, and there's a battle of the bands. There's all kinds of amazing food trucks, and the tradition is every student housing commune or co-op brings out their couches from their residence hall to sit and to watch all the bands and to look at all the art. It's really fun, and it's a really good time.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our presenters. That was really quick. So appreciate you fitting in that last question there. Always love to hear about all the different favorite events and traditions on campus. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here and sharing all great, valuable information. And thank you to each of you for joining us. We have now reached the conclusion of this session. As we close, there'll be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback will be really helpful. And lastly, this recording will be available at strivescan.com/BACS. Again, thank you all and have a great night.